Finally, one more thought. George Bernard Shaw advised that those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Our leaders typically tend to want to change things without changing their minds, or at least admitting they're changing them, epitomized in the immortal words of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
To those waiting with bated breath for that favorite media catchphrase, the U-turn, I have only one thing to say. U-turn if you want to. The ladies not for turning.
But there are exceptions, as when then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced that the United States would make a pivot away from Europe and toward Asia in its policies going forward.
We have reached a pivot point. We now can redirect some of those investments to opportunities and obligations elsewhere. And Asia stands out as a region where opportunities abound.
This week, we've had any number of leaders, political and business, very publicly change their direction, starting with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who thought better of his decision to cut short his time at the D-Day commemoration and hurry back to campaign, admitting he'd made a bad mistake. Israeli opposition leader Benny Gantz changed his mind about participating in a wartime cabinet and said that Prime Minister Netanyahu is now, quote, preventing us from advancing to real victory.
What is the actual plan? And that's not clear yet. And that frustration is what led Benny Gantz to decide we can't do this anymore and take his party out.
A lot of European voters apparently changed their minds about where the European Parliament should be headed as they flocked to more conservative opposition parties.
This right-wing surge did actually take place in the two most important countries in Europe, but not across the entire continent.
Which caused French President Macron to shake things up by calling a snap election of his own parliament.
Above all, I hope that on June 30th and July 7th, the French will elect as many MPs as possible from the presidential majority.
But perhaps the biggest about-face we saw this week came from Sherry Redstone, who had been flirting for months with a big deal that would merge Paramount into David Ellison's Skydance. Just as Global Wall Street was getting ready for the big announcement, just as a special committee of her board was getting ready to approve the transaction, Ms. Redstone apparently changed her mind and decided she wanted to stay in the entertainment business her father had founded after all, at least for now.
There's a 50% chance that nothing happens. That in the end, Sherry says, this is too much. I will just keep the company.
This is not the first time Paramount has needed to turn things around. As its own miniseries, The Offer on Paramount Plus recently explained, it was in bad shape in the early 1970s. Now, all Sherry Redstone needs is a godfather.
Paramount is going to come crashing down. We need hits.
You've read The Godfather, right?
Godfather.
Sure, who has